Yo guys, what is going on? Alex Pandrea here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're talking about double lifts. Now, we've done a few videos on double lifts, but I think it's more interesting to now take a look at once you've learned the proper way to do a push-off, and I'll link all the double lift videos I've done below, or you could click somewhere around here. So now that you know the proper ways to do the double lift and perform it, you know, a standard version of it, the ones that we would do in performance, we're going to take a look at in this video sort of non-standard ways of doing it, ones that you might not be performing all the time, but sometimes your routines might call for these different types of double lifts. So it's always great to know as much as you can, especially if you're into learning sleight of hand and jazzing your way through performances. These types of techniques are important. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Knock Luxury Collection. This is a new deck in collaboration. In fact, it's 3 decks. There's the bronze, there is the silver edition, and of course the gold. These 3 decks are the newest in collaboration with Riffle Shuffle, and this project, and these are of course just the backs of them, a little sneak peek. We're going to go through more reveals of what this deck and project is about over the week to come, but this is in collaboration with Riffle Shuffle, one of the largest producers of playing cards in the industry. So I'm very excited. We've been working on this project for over 1 year. I met Kevin Yu, the founder of Riffle Shuffle, back in 2019, in the summer of 2019, and we've been working on the project ever since. Of course, it got pushed back a few times because of, 2020. What can you do? But now we are finally ready to release it, and we are releasing it on Kickstarter Tuesday, November 24th. At 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So Tuesday, November 24th, 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Kickstarter. These 3 decks, bronze, silver, and gold, will be available to everybody on Kickstarter. So as long as you know that, stay tuned for all the updates for more on this, and let's get into the video. The first one is going to be a double from the middle of the deck. It looks like this. You take out a random card from the middle, and you've got into your double position. What you have to do for this is riffle down with the left thumb just like this, almost like you're doing a riffle force. And when you get to whatever, now this is going to be a random card, so it's not anything specific, right? So unless you hold the break and figure it out that way, which you can do of course, but you're just going to riffle down, and then your first finger of your right hand comes in and splits it, right? Again, just like we're doing a riffle force right there. So you're going to do this, and then you're going to place your finger in between and then continue to riffle 1, 2 cards. After the 2 cards come off like this, you're going to use now your middle finger to go into that break and then start to pull it out. Now what I like to do is go with my thumb also in there to grab the card and then pull it out from the middle like this. Alright, so that's step number 1. And then from there you could either come here and then turn it over on top of the deck, or 1, 2, grab, pull it out, and then go to your left side, so you're pushing it this way above your thumb, almost making like a reverse gun at that point. Make sure it's all squared and then turn it over just like that. Turn your hand over to show the double. Take it off and then place it down, and you've done it. Okay? The next one is going to be a similar one, but just from the bottom of the deck. And it just looks like that. And this is always good because sometimes I like to control a card, and let's say I do a control to the bottom of the deck, but I don't want it on the bottom because I'd like to flash the bottom when I push it in and say, look, it's nowhere here. So I control it second from the bottom, and this way I can show here, I can show here, and then go into it, right? And we're going to do the exact same thing where I riffle down and I just stop on the last 2 cards, all right? So you can do this without riffling, kind of just try to get the last 2 cards, but I find it easier if I just riffle down and I stop before I hit the last 2 cards. Then I could put my thumb in there, take this, do the same sort of technique as the other one, or in this case it's much easier to just pull it around, hold it between these fingers like this, and you are in position to turn it over and get the double with an actual selected card. Here's an interesting one. If you want to get into a double position after they touch a card, for example, say they touch this card and you just turn it over like that, you could get into a double position. This is, of course, if you want to go straight into it without having to control it or whatever. If you're okay with turning over the selection right when they select it, then this could be a good option for you. So they touch a card just like this, and now you're just going to make sure that the right hand over here, this bottom card is a little bit loose and a little bit out jogged, so it doesn't have to be that much, that's exaggerating. But once they touch this card right here, you're going to come in to turn it over with the right hand packet, and you're just leaving this card on top of the selection as you turn it over to reveal the card. You shouldn't put too much emphasis on this moment because you're just having the card selected and nothing is happening just yet. So the moment should just be like, which one do you want? Go ahead, touch it, and as they touch it, just make sure you get that one over here. This one over here, good. Turn it over. Is this okay? Fine. We'll use the 2 of spades, and then you could go into going back at it and switching it straight from here. All right. Now this could also be done by out jogging the card first, showing it to everybody. So now you're coming up with the hand just like this, and then when you point to it, so this is coming up right here, so when you point to it, that's when you come in, grab the 2 cards, and then come down and turn it over like that. So it's a little bit, I think, better than just coming straight from here and then turning it over, trying to align those 2 cards up. But it's just another way of doing it. So let's say they touch this card, you out jog it, you come up, show it, get ready, and only when you come down do you align the 2 and turn them over like that, okay? Now speaking of add-ons, here's a few interesting ones to do. Let's say they say stop somewhere and then you show everybody the selected card, in this case the 6 of diamonds, alright? Whether you show it like this or whether you show it like this so everybody can see, it doesn't matter, but from here you're going to use your first finger of the left hand to put pressure on the middle, alright, as you show, or as you show here, and then you're just going to riffle 2 cards off the thumb just like that as you turn the cards over and out jog them just like this, alright? Now what this does is that separates the double from the rest of the pack. You can show it again, push it down, and now you've done the switch of the double, alright? Or if you're used to just riffling this off without taking too much time, you can do that and just riffle both cards off right there, and then get into it again, show another peek of it, place it square, and then push it off, and you've done another switch, and you're into that double position to do anything from there. You don't have to do the switch right away, but you have that double. Taking this idea further, you can do the same basic thing, but having them stop on a card or replace the card back while you get 1 card popped off the thumb just like that, ready to go. And once it's here in this position, you can just come here, tap this card as it's out jogged, tap the card, place this card now on top of here, squaring it up as you tap, and then show it again, and then push it flush, and you've just done the switch, okay? It is just a nice way to also get a get ready of a double. So you're here, you out jog the card, and as you do this, you could riffle down, thumb off 1, or they place the card back and you have ample time to do this, and then as you come here, you just come here, maybe show it, maybe tap, and then you can even pick this up, take the double from here, and then go to anything that you want. Now if you really want to get fancy, you can do a face up spread, have them select a card, out jog this, and now do an add-on of the card from the bottom of the deck, or rather the top of the deck, and add it on just like that to get ready for a double for whatever that you want to do afterwards. So the way that this would work is just like any multiple sort of add-on, but you're just doing it with 1 card. So you're either buckling here, or you're pulling down 1 card like this, and now as you move to take this card, you're just aligning it. Use your thumb, your first finger, and your middle finger to square this up, and now you're taking this out. Now this one's going to take a little bit of practice. It's obviously a little harder, but if you're the type of performer like me who just likes to say, okay, which one do you want? Oh, 3 of spades, 3 of spades is good. Is that good for you? Perfect. And then you do it like this, of course with the attitude and a little bit of misdirection. You could get away with that, and it seems very, very clean, and you are ready for a double lift position. Alright, the last one is rather interesting because it sets you up for a double lift on top of the deck, something that you're more familiar with right away, and it instantly switches the card. So let's say they have a selection and they place it back and you want to out jog it just like that. That's the starting position. Or they just say stop on a card and you out jog it like this, show it around to everybody. And basically how it's going to look is like you're turning the card over from the middle to the top, and then you're getting ready for that. And all you're doing from there is just taking the top card, you're sliding it forward, and now you're placing the two cards aligned together, and you're turning everything over like that. All right, squaring it up in the meantime. All right, so this takes a little bit of work to get just right. It takes a little bit of, it's angle sensitive because you don't want them to see you take off the top card. So it has to be as you're coming up with the cards, just like that. You see how that's blocked? And then you don't want this part right here, these two cards, to come apart when the sort of load happens. So you want to be paying attention to all of that. You see how that's coming apart? Right away squaring it up before you turn it over. But I think it's a very nice switch right in the beginning. So they have a card right here. Which one do we have? And then you turn it over. See, that was terrible. You don't want to do that. So they touch a card, boom, you out jog it like this. And again, right now nothing has happened yet, so there's no reason for them to be very focused on the deck. So you could, as you're here, as you come up, you could even show this card first, and then as you sort of show it to everybody, come down, and as you're coming down, you do the move. Again, attention shouldn't be, solely focused on your hands right now, because you're talking to them, you're having a good time, you're actually having a conversation with them, and that will help with your misdirections. But from here, you can switch it for another one, place it in the middle, go into an ambitious card, whatever you want to do. Just don't be boring with it, and I think you'll have a good time. So enjoy those versions and come up with your own. This is endless possibilities for double lifts, and these are just some of my favorites. Bam. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are some double lifts that you can play around with. And of course, all of these are subject to change and sort of customize to your own style, to your own performance, depending on what you're doing. You might want to use this, you might think you'll never use this, you might come up with your own ways. Again, in sleight of hand and watching these sort of tutorials, I think it's important to understand that none of the stuff that I show you here or on any other video or the things that I talk about is set in stone, okay? And nobody should tell you this is how you have to do something, this is how you shouldn't do something. If it works for you, it works for you. Don't just go, also another thing to keep in mind, don't just go off of reactions, because reactions, anybody can just do a really bad double lift and get the same reaction that you would get with a fancier double lift or a more structured double lift. So you're probably asking yourself, well, Alex, if I don't go by the reaction, well, that's the whole point, right? Of magic is to get reactions. And I sort of disagree in that sort of sense that that's the only thing that we have to go for, right? We have to strive for more than just a, oh my God, and then run away, right? Or the sort of reactions that typically you would want when performing magic, or at least these sleights, right? Because that's a typical reaction that you would get. So let's strive for more. Let's strive for a deeper impact with our spectator, a deeper meaning with our magic, and taking something as simple as a double lift, and how can we have the most impact with it? If you're just going for the quick change and the reaction, I talk about this a lot, you're only gonna get about the level of a very minimal level of something that everybody could achieve. But there's so many more other layers to that that we can talk about for hours. But I'm not going to be talking about that for hours here. We've already done that in my courses and my lectures. If you want to know more about all this stuff, link is down below to start learning more magic. If you enjoy playing cards, there's a link down below to get my playing cards. The Black Friday mega special is coming up on houseofplayingcards.com. And of course, the biggest project of the year, the Nog Luxury Collection, is coming to Kickstarter Tuesday, November 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time in collaboration with Riffle Shuffle. Very excited for that. Thank you so much, guys. Like this video if you did enjoy something in it, anything in it. I appreciate everybody sticking around and watching this video, and we will see you very shortly on the next one. Peace.